You mentioned W-2, and it got me to thinking about taxes. And one of the things that you mentioned is, about how people don't necessarily look at taxes as part of their investment strategy. And I was curious about that. How do you mean that?
Well, when I meet with a client for the first time, and this is again, it's not contradicting my pay off the mortgage comment because I can get to that in a second too. When I meet with clients for the first time, one of the questions I say to them, I'd go, Ben, tell me, what is the largest expense you have in your life? And the client would invariably say, "Oh, that's easy. That's my mortgage. My mortgage is my biggest bill every month." And having looked at their information, I go, "No, it's not. No, it's not." And they go, "Oh, yeah, it's my mortgage." And I go, "No, it's not." And they go, "Okay, we'll have this fight. And what's the answer, Mr. Financial Genius over there?" And I go, "Your biggest expense is your income taxes." And they're like, "Well, there's nothing you can do about that." And I go, "I guarantee you know what your refund was." You could ask 90% of people, they know, "Oh, I paid. Oh, I got a refund." Well, what was your actual federal income tax? I don't know. Like Vinnie Barbarino from Welcome Back. Like, I don't know. And I would say one of the best things that a person can do in the working world to cut their biggest bill, your income taxes, in a way that's consistent with your goals and objective is to max out your 401k plan. Or if you own a business, your pre-tax retirement plan. And I go, you're killing two birds with one stone. Most importantly, you're building up the lump sum of capital you need for your financial independence. And two, you're cutting your largest bill, which is more than likely your federal income tax for people that make, say, over $80,000 a year combined. You're cutting your biggest bill. So that comes first. The second thing people could do to cut their taxes in a way that's consistent with their goals and objectives is to have a side business or a side hustle, okay, where the object of the game is to make as much money as possible, but then you could take expenses that you have in your personal life that you're using in your business and then use those expenses against that income. Okay, so if you have a computer that you use, but you need the computer in your business, if you have a car and you document your mileage for your car, things that you're spending money on that you could use in this side business, again, kill two birds with one stone. You're making more money and you're cutting your income taxes. And if you have a profit in that business, you can do a single 401k plan, a SEP plan, a defined benefit plan. You can use those things to help cut your taxes. For the average working person in this country, if you don't take advantage of pre-tax retirement plans, you're so far behind the game in my judgment. And the earlier you start, the better. Also, from an investment point of view, you're dollar cost averaging. You're systematically investing in the stock market. You're achieving perfect timing. When the market goes down, you're buying more shares. When the market's up, you're buying less shares. So that's critical. And as far as the mortgage is concerned, too, by the way, the standard deduction is for a married couple is about $30,000 right now. So if somebody had a $300,000 mortgage at 5% interest, the interest on that's $15,000. Add in $10,000 for state and local taxes, that gets you to 25. Some charity. Most people aren't even getting to itemize their deductions anymore. They're taking the standard deduction. So they're thinking they're getting this great freaking tax break. I'm writing off my mortgage. And by the way, the principal's not deductible, only the interest is. And the country's getting fooled by this. And they're like, "Yeah, but my house is going up in value." Okay, that's good. Okay, stocks go up in value too. And they usually outperform real estate, even though people can't see that. Okay, so your home, in the financial planning world, we call the home a use asset, USE, something that you need and that you live in. I never considered, I have a house in Florida and New Jersey. I never considered them investments per se. I considered them the same thing that I'd need a living room or a TV. I need a lump sum of capital so that I can live in this nice house, if you will, okay, and have a lifestyle where I don't have to work someday. Okay, that's what we're trying to get. Most people are trying to get to that point. You can always downsize your house. I understand that and use that capital. But most people are trying to, the reason why you're going to work is to live for today and build up the lump sum of capital you need for what I call financial independence.
There's so many stories going on these days. And by the way, yes, like if you need lighting or a camera or a microphone, things that you invest in your side hustle
Yes.
to offset the stuff. I always tell people I run this as a legitimate
Right,
business.
right. But when I officiated sports back in the day, there's people that officiate sports where it's kind of like a hobby and they're making extra money. But now they can write off their car for driving to the games, their dues, the equipment that they have, things along those lines. That would be Exhibit A of what turning a hobby into making some extra money.
I've seen, especially having worked with some entrepreneurs and things like that. Like there's a lot of times that people. I'm going to say it this way, even though I don't want to give too much of a wrong impression about this, but they kind of live vicariously through their businesses.
Right.
And the businesses basically support a lot of their personal
Right.
indulgences.
Well, you have to.
um,
I mean, we have to. I mean, we have to take the position that we're getting audited by the IRS, and Section
yep.
162 of the code allows all expenses most of the time for things that are ordinary and necessary, quote unquote, for your business. So the people that are writing off a meal, you have to document. I had a meal with Ben to go over Ben's personal
And you
finance.
don't even get that much anymore of writing off
You,
meals.
you can write off half of it. Okay. So we can all go rob a bank this afternoon and get rich, but we could go to prison too. Okay. You
Right.
have to work within the framework of the law. And again, in my opinion, taxes come in second place to making good investment decisions. The trick is to do something with your money where it benefits you and you lower your taxes at the same time. You got to kill two birds with one stone. That's why the maxing out your pre-tax retirement plan, I think, is so critical for most people.